Fox News senior political analyst, Brit Hume. Brit, good to see you. So Nevada hasn't mattered that much historically, so what role does it play tonight?
Well, there are only 30 delegates at stake, Megan. Compared, that's fewer than Iowa, which has often been criticized as, too much made about not very much. So you get a sense from that. But at this stage of the proceedings, when we only have a few states having held contests, every one of them counts as a token of momentum. And momentum is important. You look at Marco Rubio has shown some ability in 2 of the 3 states that have voted so far to close well and do better than his previous polling suggested he would. Ted Cruz has struggled. And Donald Trump, of course, has been the big winner the last 2 outings. And the polling that we have, some of it's a week old. In fact, I think that's the latest poll, suggests that he has a strong lead here and therefore should be expected to win. If he does, and does about what was expected, I don't think it'll add much to his momentum. So the really interesting struggle, I guess, is for second place between Cruz and Rubio. And Rubio, if he's going to have a chance, needs to get Cruz out of the way. And Cruz, if he has a chance, needs to get Rubio out of the way. And we might get some sense of that from the voting tonight.
And I mean, no one's even talking about Rubio or Cruz like they have a shot at first. That would be ideal for Cruz in particular, who could say, now I've won 2 and Trump's won 2. But it seems like they're conceding the man who owns a casino in Las Vegas is the one who's going to win tonight, and that'll be Donald Trump. And the question is, Britt, while Rubio and Cruz continue to say, like, I got second here and I got third there, it's like, at some point, don't you need to win in order to win?
Of course, and the fact of the matter is the field remains even as crowded as it is now, although it's much reduced from what it once was. This split in the field has 2 possible effects, Megan. One is that it allows Trump to keep winning with 35% or so of the vote. He might get more tonight. But it also prevents him from getting above 50%, because when these others drop out, when and if they do, he will inherit some of that support. And the question is, will it be enough to push him over the 50% mark, where he will have a clear path to the nomination? The hope among mainstream Republicans, of course, is that somebody can get one-on-one with the guy and begin to beat him. And that becomes increasingly important when we get past the states that are going to vote next week, where there are like almost 600 delegates at stake, and we get into more states where winner takes all. Okay, but where if you win 30 to 29, you win them all. Okay,
looking forward to that sort of second Super Tuesday, the March 15th voting day, where we have Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Illinois, Missouri. Florida and Ohio, just took a look at those, the latest polling. In Florida, the last polls were January 21st, so a few weeks ago. They're a little out of date, a month ago. But it showed Trump at 40. The Real Clear Politics average showed Trump at 40 in Florida. The next closest was Cruz at 19. Rubio in his home state had 13.7, Britt. 40 to 19 to 13. In Ohio, the latest poll was by Quinnipiac. Trump had 31. Kasich had 26. Ted Cruz had 21.
Right. Well, remember, Megan, it's pretty fluid at this stage. I mean, with some of those polls that were taken, they were in that average. Several other candidates were in the race. Certainly, Jeb Bush was in the race, and it looked even more spread out than it is now. I would say that I would be very surprised if it's almost 3 weeks or so from now, or a month from now, when those states vote, we will have had 600 delegates on March 1st selected, and the race may well look very different. If it doesn't begin to look different by then, Trump obviously has a clear path to the nomination. There doesn't seem to be any 2 ways about it.
So if you had to put money on it, number 1, do you think Trump secures this nomination? And number 2, how do you see him matching up against Hillary Clinton, if it's her?
Well, if Trump wins a nomination, and he's certainly the man to beat, I think it'll be awfully hard for him to beat Hillary Clinton, because you look at negatives. Negatives matter in the long term a lot. He has the highest negatives in the field in either party. Something on the order of 60% at the last round of people said they have an unfavorable opinion of him. Now, some of the people may change their minds.
Nationwide, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yeah,
nationwide.
Yeah.
Nationwide, that's right. And when you get into a general election, that becomes a tremendous burden. Now, Hillary Clinton has very high negatives too, but not as high as his. And of course, we've not seen in this Republican race, Megyn, anybody making a really concerted effort with an expensive advertising campaign to go after Trump. All the also ran so far in this race have been going after each other. Can you imagine what the Democrats would spend and what kind of advertising they could do on Donald Trump with the positions he's changed, with the things he's done, with the eminent domain dispute that they finally made an ad out of, the Bush people finally made an ad out. That caused a big blow up in the the last debate, and it certainly didn't seem to help Trump very much. So what I would say to you is that when the full guns of a general election campaign by the opposition party are loosed on the guy, I think he's vulnerable, and I think it'll be hard for him to beat her. But you know, in this crazy year, who knows? Who
knows is right. Brit, great to see you.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, so mark your calendars, set your DVRs for a special Kelly File Election 2016 event. Tomorrow night, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, the Kelly File goes face-to-face with the GOP candidates. Senator Cruz, Senator Rubio, Governor Kasich, and Dr. Carson will all join yours truly. And the voters of Texas for a Q&A just days before the big Super Tuesday vote. Donald Trump will not be there because he's going to be in another state and could not be available. But we'll have the other candidates together, and they will take questions directly from the Texas voters and from yours truly.